Thanks, Ken. I'll be brief. Credit to Tennessee. There's a reason they're one of the top 5 teams in the country. I think from our standpoint, to have an opportunity in a game like this, have to find some way to eliminate a lot of mistakes. Just really, you don't see numbers like that often where you turn it over and it leads to so many points. And when you're playing a top 5 team, they make you pay for every mistake, every single mistake, and that's what they did today. Both points off turnovers, you miss a switch, you miss a coverage on a flare screen, they make you pay every time. So credit to them. They got a terrific team. And for us, obviously being tested. We'll find out what we're about as we start preparation for the next opportunity on Tuesday.
You talked about the points off turnovers, and when you see 25 at halftime, I mean, have you ever seen anything like that? And I mean, it's hard to come back from something like that.
Sheldon, it doesn't give you any kind of chance to win, to be in the game. And they're really good at it. I think they lead the country in steals. They're the #1 defense in the country for a reason. But we've got to find a way to eliminate some of the simple ones. The simple passes that need to be completed, because now you're playing in disadvantage in the open floor. And as I said in the opener, they make you pay every single time.
I know that's obviously a huge headline tonight, but you also, I mean, you guys shot 61% on twos tonight, and did seem to, at least show a little bit of improvement in that area. Do you think you guys were able to do that tonight?
Well, I think in the second half we were able to get to the rim some and finish plays, which has been a weakness of ours throughout league play. We just have shot a low percentage around the rim. So we've been trying to improve in that area. I thought Jalen, gave us a lift there in the second half with his aggressiveness off the dribble. Trey was able to get to the basket some. But then you just, again, it comes back to those turnovers that put you in such a bad position.
I know winning is the bottom line, obviously, but when you play a little bit better in the second half again, how much, against the number 9 team, does that give you a little bit of confidence?
Well, I think you have a team that is devastated right now, not from today, but just the last couple weeks and the totality of where we're at right now. And unfortunately, this is part of the process that we signed up for. And, so I think you have to try to find some positives, as difficult as that is. Obviously, everyone wants to win. But we have to figure out a way to take some positives from practices, from games, and try to build our program. I knew this was not going to be an easy task when we signed up for it. We got to continue to work and fight to try and build not only our team but the foundation of the program so that we can continue to improve.
Yeah, Coach, what would you say is the reason for all the miscommunication guarding the 3 today?
Well, I mean, I think it would be a lack of communication. I think, and they run great offense. And, that's, again, what you're hoping to build is a program. When you start over from scratch, you're hoping to build something, and it doesn't happen overnight. And so you look back to year 1 and year 2 of where they were at as opposed to where they're at now. You see that there is a system and style of play that they continue to get better and better in with their off-ball screening, their passing, their cutting. That's why they're one of the top assist rate teams in the country. But we missed multiple switches on James, who's a tough matchup when they go to their 4-guard package. And then in one of their, they do a great job with their flare screens late in the possession. And like I said, once you relax and you fail to do your job, they make you pay. And they hit us on 3 flare screens for wing threes that really hurt us.
I know you mentioned the lift that Jalen Reed gave you in the second half, but can you just elaborate a little bit more? It seemed like he just put his head down on a couple buckets, especially there 2 and 3 in a row, and just went to the hoop.
Well, he's a unique player at 6'10", He's not a back to the basket type guy. He's a perimeter slasher, and he's got great vision and is a good passer. And so it was good to see him be aggressive and get to the free throw line, get to the basket and finish some plays. He has really improved if you look back on the last 3 games on the boards. So got to continue to work and keep getting better.
I know it's tough in a 21-point loss to look at individuals, but KJ hitting 2,000 points in the second half.
Yeah, I mean it's a great credit to him for his work ethic, his commitment. He's an elite teammate. He just wants to help his team get better. He wants to help his team find ways to win. But I know he's had the bonus year here, but not many players go through their college career and go over 2,000 points. It's an even smaller fraternity of players who go over 2,000 points with 1,000 rebounds. And so, obviously very proud of him for the work that he's put in over these 4.5 seasons.
Coach, how do you keep this team engaged and focused knowing what you guys are going through?
Well, I think it's the question, and it's challenging. It really is. I mean, but it's the only chance you have to really establish how you want your program to move forward. There's a lot of basketball left to be played this year. I think, and I could be wrong, last I checked, we had played the toughest SEC league schedule to this point. And so, yeah, I just think we're being tested. I know everyone's disappointed, players, coaches, fans, everyone wants to win. But again, I knew when I signed up for this, and I love LSU. I'm thrilled to be here. And I didn't expect us to come in here and it just be smooth sailing. And so I think, the one-on-one relationships within the program, you keep coming to work and finding ways to fight through it, find ways to improve, find ways to get better. But that's the way it has to go, and that's all there is to it.
Kind of going off that, I mean, I know you're saying that you expected these lumps and this is what you signed up for, but in the non-conference schedule, you had some big wins. You played Kansas State close, who's on a roll right now. Did you really think at that time that not only would you be here, but it would be to this degree?
Well, I mean, I'm certainly proud of some of the things that were accomplished early in the year, finding ways to win, coming back from 20 down against Wake Forest, the win against Arkansas in here, and life was good. You're sitting there at 12-1, and that's when it's easy to be out front waving the towel and having a good time. When you hit the adversity and you get your butt kicked and things aren't going the way you would like for them to go, that's when you got to respond and find a way to make improvement, find a way to stay together as a team. All those things are critical. I mean, you can't just lay down and roll over and get your butt kicked the rest of the year. So we got to have a mindset to come in and work, to come in and improve. That's the only way I know to do it.
You talked about the tough schedule. Now you got to go to Arkansas. Do you kind of at this point just tell the players just don't worry about who it is, just play? I mean, just try to simplify a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the bottom line. I mean, you got to come out and compete. You got to play with great energy and effort. You got to play together. I mean, that has to be the foundation of what you're trying to do. And then after that, now you got to get to, we can't turn the ball over 19 times. That leads to 33 points. We got to box out and limit second shot opportunities. We got to find ways to get better as a team. But the foundation of that will never change. It's got to be, we got to find ways to sustain more consistent energy and effort at both ends of the floor and start to eliminate some of these mistakes that continue to hurt our team.
Hey, Coach, Jalen Reed had a pretty solid night. What sort of improvements have you seen from him throughout the year?
Well, I thought just his aggressiveness, as I talked about earlier, he's kind of a unique player at 6'10", put the ball on the floor, crafty driver, can get to the rim, finish with either hand around the basket. So you hope he takes some confidence from the plays that he was able to make. Got to the free throw line. He'll continue to work to improve the percentage there. And as I mentioned earlier, I think has been a much improved rebounder here of late. So he's got to build on it and continue to improve.